The Snake Trying. Hi there, I'm Aman from DPS Saldwani Lamachor and you're watching PTO classes. So, I'm today going to explain you a very beautiful yet very simple poem, The Snake Trying, from your book Beehive. This poem is a bit different from the other poem. We have done a few poems previously which are written in a free verse, and this poem is also the same. Here there are no stanzas, such stanzas, because what we generally do, we divide the stanzas on the basis of the rhyming scheme. Okay, the stanzas end in one particular word which rhymes with the other previous ones, a line before or two lines before. Then the next stanza is in a different rhyming scheme, is written in a different manner. There are gaps in between, there are punctuation marks in between. But here in this poem there is a free verse, The Snake Trying. This poem is composed by one Canadian poet whose name is W.W.E. Ross. Some of you who are fans of professional wrestling, who watch WWE, they will get confused with Jim Ross, who is one of the color commentator there. But here, this W.W.E. Ross is a Canadian poet. His full name you can see in net also, but that is not very important. You just have to remember his name, W.W.E. Ross, with punctuation marks in between WWE. So this poem is written by Ross, and being a Canadian poet, the words that he has written, the vocabulary is different because it has the vibes of American English and British English as well, and the poem is nicely explained, nicely explains the day-to-day chores, the activities of a snake, how he moves, what he does, and how his natural instinct is. Several of us, many of us, we get feared from the snake, we get frightened, we think that snakes are poisonous, they are dangerous, they are harmful. But this is not the reality. Anything anything on earth, especially these creatures, animals, reptiles, anything, they won't harm us until and unless we harm them. If they feel that we are a threat to them, then only they attack us for their self-defense. Yes, in some cases it may vary. Few like people, animals are also there who are harmful, who act on not for self-defense but to attack us. They are the predators, yes, but generally the dogs, the pets, the domestic animals, and even many of the poets, many of the geographists, many of the scientists, many of the environmentalists, they have said this thing about snakes, that they are not harmful. In grade 7th, you must have read one poem, Garden Snakes. In that poem also, the beauty of snakes has been very well explained by the poet, that garden snakes, the snakes that we found in our surroundings, are not not that harmful, they are not poisonous, they don't harm us directly, they don't harm us on the first account, they react. They, out of their defense mechanism, they react and they attack us. So in this poem also, the snake crying, the poet reflects the same thought that the snake are seen as a fearsome symbol of death, but the snake in this poem is itself a victim. In the poem of Grade 7, The Garden Snake, the snake's was explained as a less harmful creature. He is not that harmful. It attacks when out of defense, or it doesn't bother much. You only harm it, then it attacks back. But here in the story, in the poem, sorry, it is said that snakes are rather a victim, someone who has been deprived, who has been under pain, who has been harmed by the other party, like we can say humans. So snake itself a victim, the poet says in the poem. So we are going to explore how the poet explains that the snake is a victim, and he tells us about the natural instinct of the snake, that how he works, how he reacts, how the snake thinks, and we need not to fear it. We need not to fear it, and we need not to harm it. So let's begin. The snake crying. Although the poem is in free verse, but I have tried to divide it in parts so that I can explain it easily. Stanza wise we can say it. So let's begin the poem, The Snake Crying. Okay, first of all, the introduction. This introduction, what is there in my lecture, you can use it for your summary as well. You can use it to write a very nice, decent summary. In the poem, the poet says that the snake tries to escape from being hit by the stick held by a person who is trying to kill it. Okay, so in the poem, the poet says that snake every time tries to escape from being hit by the stick held by a person. Okay, so what we generally think, that the snake will bite us, we will get poison and we will die. But here, on contrary, the man in the poem is going with a stick and trying to kill the snake. See, the snake is doing nothing, but still the man is trying to kill it. The poet wants to say that all snakes are not harmful. He says that snake's natural instinct is never to harm us. It is never harmful. Humans have a notion, that notion means a very strong feeling. Sorry. Humans have a notion that snakes are dangerous and try to kill them as soon as they spot one. Okay, without even the snake harming us, what we do, when we spot them, when we see them, when we find them, we go and try to end them. But we think that they are dangerous, that is why we do it, but this is not true. The poet tells us how a harmless green colored snake, okay, a green snake, tries to hide behind the green bushes in order to save itself. Generally, you will find the green snakes in water. Okay, now let us line by line, let us see what the snake is like. See in the picture, the boy with a stick is trying to kill a very small snake who doesn't look very harmful. It rather looks very funny. The snake trying to escape the pursuing stick. Okay, I am beginning the poem. The snake trying to escape the pursuing stick with sudden curvings of thin long body. How beautiful and graceful are his shapes. Okay, so first of all, two words are there. You can note it down in your notebook. You can note down the word and the meaning from the screen. You can take a screenshot and you can save it, and you can later on note it down in your notebooks. Pursuing means chasing or following. Curving means twisting, the curves. Okay, so the poet says the snake is trying to escape the pursuing stick, the chasing stick. Here, if the word chasing is used, this means that the man is after the snake and not the snake. Okay, so the man is going after the snake. He is following the snake to kill it. With what? With a stick. With sudden curvings of thin long body. So sudden curving means the snake wiggles. Okay, the snake doesn't move in a straight pattern. The snake wiggles. Okay, the curves are there in motion. Okay, how beautiful and graceful are his shapes. So the poet says that how beautiful it looks when it moves around. The shape that it makes, the curves it makes, it is very beautiful. He glides through the water away from the stroke. Okay, again the second stanza. He glides through the water away from the stroke. Oh, let him go over the water into the reeds to hide without hurt. Small and green, he is harmless even to children. See, there is no such rhyming scheme. He glides through the water away from the stroke. In the second line, the line is ending. Oh, let him go over the water into the reeds to hide without hurt. Small and green, he is harmless even to children. Here, the poet in the second stanza tells us about the activities of snake. He tells here the word he is used for snake. For the animals we use it, but the poet, he treats the snake like a very good creature, and he is trying to create a good picture of the snake, and he is using the word he because he is comparing. When we write something about we don't think about it as a thing or a animal. We treat it like us. He glides through the water away from the stroke. Oh, let him go over the water into the reeds to hide. First of all, glides means moves. Okay, he moves through the water. He wiggles through the water. Stroke means hitting of the stick. Reeds means water or marsh plants with thick stems. Okay, the plants under the water. Okay, so the poet says the snake glides through the water away from the stroke. Away from the stroke means the snake is trying to escape the stick. Let him go. The poet says, oh, let him go over the water into the reeds. Let him go into the water, oh, and in the plants he will hide himself, because he is of green color. He will hide himself in the plants so that the stick can't find him. Here the stick means the men. Without hurt. Okay, the snake, very pitiful creature, he tries to escape the stick and hide into the water around the plants. Okay, small and green, he is harmless. Very small he is. We have seen the picture. See, very small and green. He is harmless even to children. The men think that the snake will harm our family, it will harm our children, but that is not true. The snake is even harmless to the children. The children will only go near him and try to irritate him, try to hurt him. So the snake will retort back and harm you back, harm the children back. So snake is not harmful for even the children, and he only wants to hide in the water. Along the sand, the concluding stanza, the concluding lines of the poem. Along the sand he lay until observed and chased away. and now he vanishes in the ripples among the green slim reeds. Along the sand he lay until observed and chased away. Okay, the poet is saying that till the time the man didn't find him and the stick was not chasing the snake was very peacefully lying in the sand. He was lying in the sand, in the ground. But now when the stick is after him, when he is under observation, when the man is observing its activities, and the snake is afraid of the stick that is chasing him, now the snake vanishes in the ripples. Okay, vanishes means disappears, ripples means pani ke bulbule. Okay, the small the round water particles that are made because of the movement of the water. So he tries to vanish, he tries to disappear from the sand into the water, so that the stick will not find it easily. And among the green slim reeds, the plants of the water. So he was very peaceful in the sand, he was quietly sitting there, quietly resting there, not harming anyone else, not being a threat to any other human being or any other creature. But when he is found and when he is being observed, when his movements are observed, when the stick is chasing it, then he disappears, then he vanishes, then he finds his way around the water, in the slim reeds, in the plants. Okay, so this is what the poet has explained in the poem. First stanza, he tried by telling us that the snake is trying to escape the chasing stick that is carried by a boy, a man. Here in the picture the boy is shown, but a man is after him, and the poet in the first few lines, he describes the beauty of the snake, that how his movements are very beautiful, the curves are very beautiful, how his shapes that are created because of his movements are very beautiful. So this is what he explained in the first few lines. Then he tells us that how he glides through the water, how he escapes, how he goes and he tries to save his life, save his soul. So this is what is explained in the second one. And in the third one he tells that he was very peaceful in the sand, but because of the cruelty of the human being, it has to hide himself in the water around the reeds. So there are few literary devices. As I have told you, the rhyme scheme is absent. The poem is written in the free verse. Okay, the first literary device of the poem is that it is written in the free verse. The rhyme scheme is absent. Second is transferred epithet. What is transferred epithet? The adjective used with a noun refers to a noun other than one with which it is used. Okay, the adjective you all know, which describes, okay, the describing words, and it is used with a noun, okay, refers to a noun other than one with which it is used. So example, pursuing stick. Pursuing refers to the person who is holding the stick. The chasing, who is chasing? The man. So pursuing, the adjectives describe the noun. So the adjective is describing the noun. It is describing the noun, not stick. Okay, pursuing stick. Pursuing stick. Okay, noun is stick and pursuing is adjective. Pursuing is describing the stick, that what kind of a stick is it? It is pursuing. But here the transferred epithet is used, which means that the adjective pursuing is not describing the stick, the noun stick, but it is describing some other noun, which is the man. The man who is chasing. The man is chasing the stick, the snake, right? Not the stick. How can a stick chase a snake? So pursuing stick is used, but pursuing is used for the stick in the poem, is written for the stick in the poem, but actually it is used for the other noun, that is human being. Alliteration, the repetition of a consonant sound. Okay, the repetition of a consonant sound. Consonant and vowels, you all know, A, E, I, O, U are vowels, and consonants are the other alphabets, the other sounds. So the repetition of a consonant sound in two or more consecutive words. He is harmless. So the H sound is prominent here. So alliteration is a device which is used, transferred epithet is a device which is used, and the rhyme scheme is absent. So the poem is written in the free verse. So a small summary is written here. You can take a screenshot, you can take the help of this summary. Okay, you can take a screenshot, but this summary is very small. This much you need not to write. What you will do when you will be writing the summary, I will provide you a summary also. So you will start with the introduction, then you will explain the poem in your summary. So this is what I have for you today. I hope that you have enjoyed the poem, a very simple and easy poem, a lucid poem, and I am going to provide you the question answers, the RTCs, and the word meanings also I will provide you. Along with summary you will write on your own. You can take the help of the summary here. Don't write this. This is a very small summary. It is for example. You can start with the introduction. You can then go ahead with the explanation. Then you can conclude the summary in your own words. The summary must be of 1 or 2 pages long. 1 or 1.5 page long. Okay. So this is what is for today. I am Aman from DPS Saldwani Lamachor. You are watching PTO classes. Thank you so much for watching the lecture.